Hello everyone, my name is Perseus, and today for our final assignment in the coming of age novel course, I am going to make a 10-minute video talking about what coming of age novels are. And since we're not supposed to read a script, I decide to take a different approach and make it feel more like a podcast. So, um, so I'm just going to say whatever's coming into my mind, what I understand about what coming of age novels are. So, what is a coming of age novel? What are coming of age novels? First thing we know is that they are novels, and the second one is they tell coming of age stories. So, the easiest way to discuss what coming of age stories are is we can just look back at our childhood, just think about your own life. What you are like in your childhood, you have a lot of dreams, you have a lot of expectations of what you want to be and what you presume how the world works. And comes the teenage years. In teenage years, you're getting closer and closer to becoming an adult, and you have a lot of anguish and a lot of new desires. You hit puberty. You want to meet somebody's girls, boys, and you're starting to think about what you want to do in your future, what jobs you want, what subjects you want to study, and there's a lot of social issues going around. It makes you angry and anxious, and you want to feel important, and you want to say something important, and it makes you feel like you're part of it. And becoming an adult is what happens when you have to you have to let go of a lot of stuff, and you're beginning to understand that the world does not work as easily as you expected, and sometimes you even have to give up what you want to be. It's what they call maturing, but I don't think maturing means having to give up on something. It's just how the world usually works. So right now I'm going to give us some examples about what some of the most common coming of age stories are. Like, let's say the easiest way to talk about what coming of age stories are is when they're told in the form of fantasy. It usually features this very famous narrative structure called the traditional hero's journey, which an author named Joseph Campbell have written a book about it and inspired some very important stories that come afterwards. For example, you got Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, and Harry Potter from Harry Potter, Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan, and Frodo from Lord of the Rings. We often talk about Aragorn when we talk about the hero's journey, but since we are talking about coming of age stories, Aragorn doesn't count. He's a rather old adult at that point. So So the first thing about coming of age stories, they usually feature a character that hasn't reached adulthood yet. They are very young, they're probably just youngsters, children, or teenagers, and then they start to get older. And the authors, they would write about what happens in their childhood, and then what happens in their teenage years, and then at the end what happens in their adult years, and then they just talk about what they learned in their life lessons, and sometimes you learn something and sometimes you do not learn anything. It ends in a triumphant note or it ends in tragedy. Let's take Stephen Dedalus from the Portrait of the Artist According to a Young Man, for example. It didn't exactly end at the happiest note because the main character ended alone. Everybody wants him to become somebody he's not. Everybody wants him to take a side, but he doesn't want to take any side. So he decides just walk away from everything and be alone and answer his calling as an artist. So today I want to talk about some more inspiring examples that are coming of age stories and also novels. And what I'm talking about is Star Wars. Now you're probably thinking, why are we talking about movies if we're supposed to talk about coming of age novels? Well, the thing is, Star Wars have their own novelizations, and I'm talking about the original three Star Wars movies, and they have novelizations. And Star Wars itself tells the coming of age story about Luke Skywalker. The novelizations themselves count also as coming of age novels. So I'm going to talk about the Star Wars novelizations. So as you know, the original three Star Wars movies and their novelizations talk about the story of Luke Skywalker, who started out as this simplistic, young, naive farm boy who lives on the sand planet of Tatooine, and there's a lot of things that he wants to do. He wants to like, I think, be a pilot and join the academy and go fight the bad guys, just explore the world outside of his hometown. But he's kind of tied down by his uncle Owen, who wants him to stay in his home and continue to be a farmer. And then everything changed when he met this mysterious old sorcerer, this old Jedi Knight called Obi-Wan Kenobi. And then he reaches the character. This is what happens a lot in coming of age stories. They reach a point of no return. So Luke's in the first Star Wars movie and this novelization, Luke reaches a point of no return when his Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru died, being killed by the stormtroopers from the evil vampire when they were searching for the droids that contain very important information. So his family, his only family were dead, and he can't go back. He has no home to turn to. So what does he do? He follows Obi-Wan Kenobi to go to the Death Star to rescue this princess called Princess Leia and join the rebellion. And they fight the evil empire, blow up the Death Star, and that's how the story ends in the first book. But because the story comes in a trilogy, Luke Skywalker's journey has not ended. His coming of age story has not ended. By the point the first novel, the first book, and the first film ends, he journeys from being a farm boy to a very, very good pilot in a rebel alliance. And in the second movie, The Empire Strikes Back, and its novelization, they talk about how he becomes a Jedi Knight. So he goes to this mysterious swamp planet called Dagobah to meet the Jedi Master called Yoda. And throughout the movie, he has to learn how to be patient, how to use the Force, and what being a Jedi Knight actually stands for. And it is in this place that he begins to run into another turning point, a large turning point of no return, because Luke, while becoming a Jedi, he's supposed to fight this bad guy, this big evil bad guy called Darth Vader. And then by the end of the second movie, by the end of The Empire Strikes Back, he finds out that Darth Vader is his father. And this is also a very low point of his life, because he fell into this trap set by the Empire, set by Darth Vader when he was trying to rescue his two friends, Princess Leia and Han Solo. And he got one of his hands chopped off while fighting the bad guy Darth Vader. And then right after he got his hands chopped off, he found out that Darth Vader is his father, which can really make a young person's world fall apart when you find out that the father that you've always dreamed of, that was supposed to be a hero, is one of the most evil people in the galaxy. So the story follows his Luke's coming of age story. His hero's journey continues into the last movie and this novelization called Return of the Jedi, where he is becoming a more and more experienced person. And he just found out that his father was still alive. So he has this very important mission of saving his father, of redeeming his father. He wants to convince his father to come back to the light side, turn away from the dark side. And that is how he eventually succeeds. When he defeats his father and the evil emperor who Darth Vader answers to wants Luke to kill his own father to take his place at the emperor's side. Luke refuses and said this very famous line, "I am a Jedi, like my father before me." And it is how it inspires his father Darth Vader, who was Anakin Skywalker, to turn back to the light side and kill the emperor to save his own son. So that's how the story goes, how Luke eventually just, he successfully redeems his father, even though his father still passed away from some injuries, and he became a full-fledged Jedi Knight. He runs into some point of no return. He has this notion of how the world works, but now he realized the world doesn't work as easily as he expected. He reaches some turning points. Some people are not who they appear to be, and he makes some choices to kill the bad guy or help or redeem the bad guy. And he went from this inexperienced human being to this very experienced and mature person. And that's pretty much what coming of age stories are. You start your journey, you reach a point, you end the journey, and you become a better person or a worse person because of it. So we're reaching past the time, how much time we're supposed to do the video, so I'm going to end it here, and thank you for watching.